Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 Podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sin. Be sure to follow me over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join our discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying these reviews and videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. So Season 3 finally dropped on Netflix for She-Ra and the Princess of Power. It's only 6 episodes, so I thought there'd be more, but everything, just that alone lets you know that everything's going to be in turbo mode. Everything happens really fast. In this first episode, there's some good, but mostly it's just bad, really bad jokes. Oh my goodness, are the jokes and comedy just so bad? And they're not placed in the right areas. They're trying to break up the drama, but all it does is make the drama worse and the comedy even worse than that. It's not good for anybody. But we open up right where season 2 ended, where Shadow Weaver's in Adora's room, and I'm thinking, okay, what is she going to do? What's the plan? And there was no plan. Her plan was to wake her up and scare her and pass out. What the hell, Shadow Weaver? That's all you had? So she just gets captured, and that's it. Yeah, she gets thrown in. This is where the jokes come in. They're not funny. The Queen and we have Casta. They're walking towards where they're holding not Catra, but Shadow Weaver. And like, why are we stopping here? Well, this is the where we keep the prisoners, and it's like a regular room. Because Bright Moon doesn't have a dungeon or a place to hold prisoners. This is some type of commentary on we shouldn't have prisons. What it's stupid. And she's like, oh, we took out the cushions, or most of them. It's not funny. It's dumb. So why have guards if there's no one can commit crimes? Whatever. The feel-good idiots show up, and they're like, oh, let's go talk to Shadow Weaver. And of course the Queen, she's like, no, we're going to talk to her. Basically, me and Cats are going to do the interrogation. You don't need to be there because you're just kids. Which is true, but at the same time, Adora does have she knows Shadow Weaver better than any of these people. I don't think they've even spoken to her. Like, they've never even seen her before. But instead of being, like, explaining herself, she's just all frantic. Oh, I have to see her. I have to talk to her. And that's not how you get things done. This first episode, which I think is going to, be the lesson of this whole season, is if you're loud and brash and don't care about anyone, you'll get everything that you want. Because that seems to be what's happening here. So Adora throws a little pouty, crybaby piss pants here. Are you kidding me? She's trying to plead her case to Bow and Glimmer, but they're like kind of on the Queen's side. Hey, you don't know her, she could try to manipulate you, whatever, but at the same time, you're all going to be in the room. What could she possibly do? She's behind a protected barrier. She can't really do much. But Adora, I have a good idea. Like, this is her I have a good idea face. I'm going to pretend to be sleepy. And even Bo sees right through her garbage. And he's like, you're going to try to sneak in, aren't you? And then she's like, oh, no way. And then she tries to just like run in there. And this is where the comedy comes in because it's so funny. And these guards, how the hell is her helmet winking? And what? That doesn't make any damn sense. Anyways, we get to Shadow Weaver. She wakes up and she's like, well, where am I? And, she's like, you're in a prison. This is a prison? Why does everyone keep saying that? Like, she keeps, like, that's the jokes and they're not funny. Stop making jokes. This is serious. This could be something cool. It could be awesome. You don't need silly, stupid jokes to break up drama. It's okay just to have drama. So she's on her... I don't know what Shadow Weaver's trying to accomplish here. Because they're like asking her, what are you doing here? Oh, I got information to beat the Horde, but I'm only going to talk to Adora. But then she starts talking crap to him. Like, they're talking about Micah, which was the Queen's husband and Casta's brother. So they're very special to them. He died during the war. And she even brings it up. She's like, oh, look, you don't speak his name. And she's like, oh, why? I'm not the one who sent him to his death. I'm like, oh, snap, son. But you could tell Shadow Weaver's like losing her power and or dying because like her dark energy is like falling off of her. So she's like, I want to tell you stuff, but I'm only going to tell Adora. Odd, but I guess that's her request. Why not just have everyone there? Have all your guards, have more mages there. It's a simple request. We get to Catra and... I guess after passing out from being choked out, he just threw her in prison. Oh my god, what would it take for Hordak to kill you? He just gives you a million chances. He just doesn't care. But apparently she's in the same cell that Shadow Weaver was thrown in because you see the marks on the wall and everything. I guess. I don't know what the symbolism of that is. Scorpia shows up and she's like, I don't know, people have been asking me to call her Scissor Punch again, but she shows up and she's like, oh, I'm gonna save you because, you're my best friend and everything. Catra, and again, more comedy that's not funny. Catra's like, oh, how did you find me? Oh, that was a very, secretive operation. She just grabs the guard and throws him off the bridge. So she just murdered this guy. Well, that's real nice. That's great that you just killed this person. You could have. Don't you have a stinger that can knock you out? Why not just use that? But it's funnier to kill somebody. Scorpio's like, we're gonna save you. You're our leader, and I'm not gonna let him. Basically, he says Hordak is going to have an assembly, and he's gonna punish you in front of everybody. I was gonna give her a spanking. It's so weird. I don't know, but she's like not gonna let that happen because this is stupid. This is where a time where she could tell Catra, I love you, because apparently she's, insanely in love with her. She tells her, oh, you're my best friend. What? I thought you loved her. What? But then Catra does like the most ridiculous thing ever. Because Scorpio goes in that whole giant, speech about you're our leader. We care about you. I'm not going to let him hurt you. And then she's like, oh, you really do care about me. She's like, of course I do. And then she laughs in her face and calls her stupid. Oh, caring about people's what got me in here. No, Catra, that's not what got you in here. You made a bunch of other mistakes, had nothing to do with you about caring anybody. Shadow Weaver was the last straw. Then she starts, putting herself down. Oh, she was right. I am worthless. I'm not worth anything. And she says something that just isn't true. I did everything right and I still don't win. Did you, Catra? Did you do everything right? No, you didn't. How many times did you let the princesses get away? How many battles did you lose? You didn't do everything right. This is Noelle Stevenson. She's Catra in this situation. She's Adora when she's yelling at, not her parents, but that's what she's doing. I did everything right and they still said I was worthless. No, Noelle, you made a lot of mistakes and it's all on the screen. If you ever want to know exactly what teenage Noelle Stevenson is, it's right here. Everything that bad happened to me was everyone else's fault. I did everything right, but everyone hated me. Awful lesson. So she basically starts calling for the guard and tells, Scorpia to go kick rocks, get the hell out of here. I don't care about you because I just want to let myself, get whatever punishment I'm going to get. Scorpia leaves, wow. This woman, this girl you supposedly love just told you to go to hell. That's real nice. That's great. But stick with her because she's such a nice person. Get back to the funny because remember how the kind of a, dramatic moment there between two characters? We got to have funny moments. They're all in Glimmer's bed. And they're just watching Adora to make sure she doesn't sneak out to go, talk to Shadow Weaver. She keeps trying to sneak away. She gets caught by Glimmer, brings her back to the room. She tries to climb outside the door, gets caught by Glimmer, gets put back in the room. Tries to pretend to be one of the guards. Oh, I'm here to relieve you. Gets caught by Glimmer, gets put back in the room. This is so stupid. This does not need to be in the damn episode. After the 100,000th time they bring her back to the room, they start having an argument saying, forget about her. She's going to manipulate you. You don't need to talk to her. She's evil. But then Adora is like, I was part of the Horde once and then I became a good guy. And she's like, I did that not because of the sword, because I knew it was the right thing to do. No. Citation needed, please. You left the Horde because the sword was calling to you, and that's when it first got you. First it was Catra who wanted to go on a joyride. Then you found the sword and you kept thinking about it and you want to know what it was. Then you got the sword. Then you got captured. No, you didn't leave because it was evil. You had no idea it was evil till way later. So what the hell is she talking about? But I do agree with her. I believe anyone can be redeemed. Does that mean that you get to be a good guy and everything's nice? And sometimes your redemption comes with your death. But in the end, you were redeemed. But I guess she's trying to do that for Shadow Weaver and talk to her because she obviously still cares about her because even though she was abusive and terrible, it was the only mother she ever knew. And Bo and Glimmer's like, okay, we're going to go do this. Come back to the interrogation. And I thought this was kind of fun. I guess Casta's doing a spell a truth spell. And then Shadow Weaver's like, oh wow, it's a sloppy your sigil here. You didn't draw it right. She's talking crap. I thought that was funny. Angela's side boob. That is pathetic. they keep talking to her and then she's not giving up anything. She's like, I want to talk to Adora. I'm not talking to any of you losers. Casta calls Queen aside. Hey, let's go talk about this outside the room. She's like, this isn't working. We've been at it. We've asked her 1,000 questions. How much time has passed? A few hours? This made it feel like this was like days and days and days, but it's seriously been maybe a couple of hours. But Casta's right. She's like, her condition's worsening. She's going to die. Maybe we should bring Adora in here and then at least she'll talk to her. What's the point of just letting her die and then we're going to lose all that information? So instead of getting on Casta's side and using her and then coming to an agreement, they decide, oh, we're going to just sneak in there. And this is terrible lessons. And this is, I keep stuttering because it's so stupid. Glimmer can teleport. So she's going to teleport Adora into the room. But Bo's like, I'm going to distract them. So he just whips it out. No, he pulls out cards. Oh, want to see a magic trick? And that's enough to distract the queen. Oh my God, it's so stupid. They get in the room and Adora's about to talk to Shadow Reaver, but then Glimmer kind of pops in from the side. Hey lady, all the bad things you did, you better not hurt my friend because you just give me a reason or I'll kick your ass. It's so dumb. Then Adora's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Tubby. I got this. And she does the whole, oh, I'm watching you thing. Remember that in Avatar when it was funny and made sense in the situation when it doesn't make sense here? Stop trying to be funny. You're not funny. And then we get this. I like this. This scene's good. It's just weird because first Shadow Weaver's like, oh, my sweet Adora, and trying to be like super nice to her. And then Adora's like, oh, that's not going to work on me. And then Shadow Weaver straight up lies and says, oh, you've always been clever. There's a million things that Adora is. Smart and clever are not any of those things that she is. But she's like, just kind of like not letting her know that you can't manipulate me. And then there's Glimmer sitting in the background like, you tell her, girl. Whatever. Shadow Weaver's trying to speak to her and telling her, hey, I came here because, I got basically nowhere else to go. I need to talk to you about taking on Hordak, fighting all, because I hate them. Catra betrayed me. I got to get back at him. Kind of makes sense, but you can't really trust her. She's still dying. It looks like she throws up some of this black goo, but it doesn't actually show it, but that would have been super gross to see. She becomes She-Ra, and she's like, oh, I'm going to heal you. And then the Glimmer pulls her aside, which there's no way Glimmer could pull She-Ra. She's so strong. It doesn't make sense. But she's like, you don't even know how to heal anybody. Like, you think you can do it, but you don't know what you're doing. And then, Shadow Reaver's basically giving her good advice, which is so weird. Everything Shadow Weaver says is like 100% true. And she's like, here, you can try to heal me, but I can help you. But she says it with like these sinister eyes. So it's like, I don't know if you can trust her or not. Then we get to Hordak and I guess he's got an ulcer. I don't know. He's like holding his side. I guess he's falling apart after all these years. And then Entrapta is like bugging him with like, oh, this is first one tech here. And then it's like in his face and bouncing around. You can tell he's irritated, but he's like, whatever, you're smart. I'm just dealing with you. She's like, oh, there's first one signal coming from the Crimson Waste. We got to send Catra. And of course, Hordak is basically going to send her to Beast Island. And he's like, no, don't worry about Catra. She's not going to be, she's not useful anymore. Then Entrapta is like, oh, productivity's got up 400% since you made Force Captain Catra. Blah, blah, like all these like facts and figures of why Catra's awesome. But really? She lost so many battles. She lost the Battle of Bright Moon. She lost that tower in the middle of freaking, the D&D episode. She had so many failures. So I don't know where all this 400% is. It doesn't make any sense. Hordak keeps just like stomping around and he straight up tells her, forget it. It's not going to happen. I'm not sending you to the Crimson Waste because it's like a desolate deathland. There's nothing out there. Waste troops. Like they even use any of their troops. But, Entrapta's like kind of sad and then just like leaves the information there. Then you could tell, oh, he's going to change his mind because Hordak's an idiot. Get back to Shadow Weaver and she's giving Adora good advice. She's like, you're a princess. Your runestone is in your sword. You can draw power from it. You have to concentrate, become one with your sword and let it flow through you and you can, do your healing, you can do just about anything. Adora tries to do it, but then she does it, she gives up after like 2 seconds, she just gives up. I can't do this. What do? Do I point it at you? Do I jam it in your face? No, of course not, dummy. And Shadow Weaver being very calm is like, calm down, Adora. You're letting your insecurities and your fears get the best of you. Come in here and I'll show you. I'll help you. I'm like, oh, wow, she's going to go inside the little barrier. Then she tells her something that makes no sense. She's like, oh, you fear your power. You fear that you'll spiral out of control. When was this fear ever established? When did there should have been prior episodes that would have showed her like using her strength or, like her powers, and it was too much and she ended up like hurting people or destroying too many things. But that groundwork was never laid. So I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but she gives her good advice and says, you are stronger than your fears. Accept your fear, then get past it. Like, wow, Shadow Weaver, she's being a good mom. Then, she does that ridiculous power-up thing where the music sounds pretty good here. I never really talk about the music, but the music's actually pretty decent here. But then she does like that power-up thing, and she has her arm stretched out. It looks freaking ridiculous. But it heals Shadow Weaver, and like her eyes get all glowy. I'm wondering, did it heal her face? Because in season 2, when she did that dark magic thing, it like effed up her face. So I'm wondering if she looks like she used to, like when she was Light Spinner. But yeah, she touches her and heals her, and it's like, you've been healed. And she slaps her. No, she just grabs her face. The queen and everyone break in, and then Goofy, Bo, I couldn't stop her. But they see what happened, and then she got healed. And of course, Adora's like, fine, I healed you. Tell me everything. And it's the truth is, she goes, I had nowhere else to go. Who was going to help me? You're going to help me. Then they start talking about what the plans that Hordak has. He's like, he's going to open a portal, and he's going to bring an army so huge you're not going to be able to stop him. So how big is Hordak's army now? Like, she even says, you're having trouble stopping his little tiny army. He opens his portal, he's going to have such a big army, he's going to steamroll you guys. Everyone's super concerned, but then Glimmer's all like, oh, he must be lying. She's lying. He can't do any of these things. But why would she lie? Like, what does she gain from this? Because they think she's some type of secret agent? No, she was literally dying unless you thought she was faking it. But Adora's like, well, how do we know he's getting close to open this portal? He has Entrapta. She's the one who's figuring all these things out. So Entrapta's just a full-on bad guy now. There's no goodness there. Then she's like, I know you guys don't think, on this planet, we don't know anything about space travel and universes, but Adora right here, she's not from this planet. And she's one of those, people who came through the portal. No one believes her. She even says, yeah, when we found you as a baby, I knew you were special because you came from not of this world. Everyone starts, Glimmer's all, oh, you're just lying. You're trying to trick us. But again, for what reason? Adora runs away in the most ridiculous run cycle in the history of cartoons. She runs off because she's, again, being a crybaby piss pants. And they show Swiftwind, and he doesn't talk. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that grand that Swiftwind doesn't say anything? But he lands and makes horse noises. Why would he do that? Wouldn't he just speak? Like, does he? I just think they threw that in there, not remembering who Swiftwind was. But we get that clip that they released a couple days ago where she's just yelling and screaming at Lighthope, because when you're Noel Stevenson and a teenager, all you do is yell and scream at, your parental figures because they're wrong and you're right. Get that whole breakdown. Well, who am I? Where am I from? And it's kind of dumb that Lighthope's like, you were there. How come you're asking me about it? But she was a baby, but Lighthope didn't know babies don't remember things. That's really dumb. Lighthope shows her everything. There was a portal. Gets Hordak got one open, and he does his best Thanos impersonation. He's walking through like a field, and I guess the portal's only open for a couple seconds or moments. He stole a door and brought her back. I'm not understanding what happened. So he went into the portal, looked around. Oh, here's a baby. Let me grab that, and then jump back through the portal. Why not just stay on that side? I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to show more of this later on, but it still doesn't make any damn sense. But Adora is the first one. She's from, I wonder if they're going to call it Eternia. I don't know if they're even allowed to call it that, because again, everyone knows Adora and He-Man are twins. So that'd be great if you actually got to see that. I don't know if they're ever going to even bring it up. But, Adora's like, oh, do I have a mom and dad and all these things? Like, none of that crap matters, Adora. But she's like, well, can I go back home? She's like, no, you got to protect Etheria. You're here to save the world. And Adora, do I get a choice? No, stupid. You're literally the only one who can defeat Hordak. I'm sorry that you feel this way, but if it can be put on anyone else, I would freaking do it. But nope, crybaby piss pants. If I was Lighthope, I'd be like, okay, Adora, go run off and do what you want to do. You're damning every single one of these people to death and slavery. Do you want that? So giving up your quote-unquote life, which after you beat the Horde, you can be a good, you don't have to do any of this crap. But no, she just storms off being a little freaking idiot. Bone Glimmer are like, talking, oh, why did we let her talk to her? Oh no, and everything. And she walks, Dora comes back, and of course, group hug, because that's what we do. Dora, I'm going to figure out who I am. I'm going to go to the Crimson Waste where that message came from, because everything's about Mara. Mara. My question is, so did Hordak fight Mara? Was Mara around at the same time? I'm assuming that when Mara closed the portals, that's what caused Hordak's ship to crash, or I don't know. So Hordak's over 1,000 years old, and he still hasn't figured out how to beat these idiots? Ugh, it's pathetic. So she decides, I'm going to go on the Crimson Waste, and you're going to come with me, guys, because, we're a team. Catra gets, brought out in front of, I'm assuming this is the whole army, 24 guys. And this is like the throne room. Lonnie, Kyle, they're there. They look pretty cool in their horde armor. He starts talking crap. This is your former captain. She's useless, and I know everything, and she's failed, and this is what garbage. He's basically talking a bunch of crap to her. Then, in the most unbelievable, I can't believe they did this, Catra's like, you're the one who's worthless. And everyone goes, what? Even Hordak is like, huh? It'd have been better if he would have stayed completely silent, let her talk her stupid. He goes, yeah, you're worthless. You need me. You need me like you need Shadow Weaver because you have no idea what you're doing. Explain to me, what exactly did Catra do? She led some soldiers around as well as anyone else could. At least Shadow Weaver had like magic, and she had like knowledge of how to do things, because even in season 2, Catra didn't know how to like do the minutia of being a leader, providing food, water, fuel, armor. She didn't know how to do any of that. So what the hell is Catra talking about? And during this whole little like I'm talking crap speech, Scorpio's like, oh, sweet honey child, you're gonna get killed. That's what should have happened. Or he should have, I don't know, hit her or did something. He just grits his teeth and, growls a little bit. How pathetic. So all those other soldiers that are there, all the other force captains are going to be like, wow, you can just stand up to Hordak and he won't do anything to you. Absolutely pathetic. But then he's like, oh, I got a better plan. I'm going to send you to Crimson Waste. And I guess Entrapped is like, oh, hey, Catra, I saved your life. He wasn't going to ever kill her. He was going to send her to Beast Island. But how's being sent to the Crimson Waste any better than being sent to Beast Island? They're both like, quote unquote, death sentences. At the same time, Entrapped is like, I saved your life, but did she really? Did she really care, or did she want someone to go into the Crimson Waste? I don't know if she would have done it if she wasn't going to be able to get that first one's tech. But then, Catra's like, what the hell? You can't send me there. No one ever comes back. And we're like, exactly. That ends episode 1. The jokes are painful. Man, God, the comic relief is horrible. They should just abandon it altogether. Or if you want to have a funny episode, have a funny episode. Don't try to mix the funny in with a dramatic story building episode. It just doesn't work. I know you want to be Last Airbender. You're not. You're never going to be that. You're never going to have those writers. And then just being a whiny little crybaby piss pants. It's Catra. I'm bitchy and I'm going to yell at all the adults and I'm always right. I'm Adora. I'm bitchy. I'm going to yell at all the adults. I'm always right. That's a horrible lesson to teach. It'd be great if some of these characters get their comeuppance. I don't know. I don't think they will, because that's not how they write things in the show. But yeah, that's episode 1. We got 5 more to go. Keep commenting, guys. Join our Discord. There's like tons of discussion over there about this show, and people share fan art and fan theories and everything. It's really, really cool. I read every comment. Sometimes it gets a little overwhelming, but I make sure to go through and heart and like just about every comment that I get to. Of course, if it's something I don't agree with, like wholeheartedly, I won't. But even the ones I don't, you guys bring up really good counterpoints. I like reading all those kinds of things. So 1 down, 5 to go. Catch you guys tomorrow for the next one. Crimson Saint here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single upload. If you have any tips or story ideas, hit us up on Twitter at C15Podcast, or better yet, join our Discord server, link in the description below.